Welcome back, YouTube. It is Saiko here, and today we are here back with another video in our 30 teams in 30 day series. And in today's video, we are going to be covering the Boston Celtics. But before we get into the video, if you guys could please hit the like button and also hit subscribe, I would really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the bell icon as well so you don't miss out on another upload. I'm trying to reach 100 subscribers by the end of the year, and I would really appreciate it if you guys did all of that. And I'm pretty sure that Jayson Tatum would as well. I would say the Celtics actually had a pretty good offseason this year. They hired Ime Udoka as their new coach, with Brad Stevens heading into the front office with Danny Ainge now gone. And the first thing that Brad Stevens does is trade injury-prone Kemba Walker to the OKC Thunder, who ended up going to New York. So I guess it's kind of a win-win situation in a way. And from that trade, they were able to get back Al Horford, who was on the team a few years ago, who should have stayed on the team a few years ago, if you ask me. With him there, he provides depth at center, not like they have like 4 other centers on the roster or something like that. JK, it's actually like 3, but I mean, still. They have like a lot of good centers that they are going to have trouble playing, I feel. Evan Fournier, Luke Cornett, Semi Ojeleye, and most importantly, Taco Fall were the guys that they let go in free agency, though. They also ended up trading away Tristan Thompson, they traded for Josh Richardson from the Mavs, and they also, most importantly, signed Marcus Smart and Robert Williams to extensions. They also ended up getting Enes Kanter, who apparently, just like Al Horford, is coming back to the Celtics like he was like last year or something like that. And the Celtics did get a really low-key, really good pickup in Dennis Schroeder for such a cheap deal. So I think it's safe to say that the Celtics offseason was pretty successful, especially now that Danny Ainge is gone. The C's didn't have a first-round pick this year, but they ended up drafting this guy named like Juhan Bergarian, some shit like that. I don't know what he does. All I know is that he played in Paris and he was a second-round pick. As for the starting lineup for this team, I feel like they could go a couple few ways with it, actually. But as of right now, what I see them doing is running Dennis Schroeder at the 1, Jaylen Brown at the 2, Jayson Tatum at the 3, Al Horford at the 4, because apparently Ime Udoka was kind of impressed with what he was able to showcase to him, and Robert Williams at the 5. But obviously, this is always subject to change because the Celtics do have a lot of depth and a lot of good pieces that they could put in the starting lineup. I also see Peyton Pritchard, Marcus Smart, Josh Richardson, Grant Williams, and Enes Kanter getting a majority of the backup minutes on this team. Dennis Schroeder was actually an amazing pickup for the Celtics this year. I know a lot of people have a bad taste in their mouth, especially after how lackluster he performed in the playoffs last year, but for the price that the Celtics got him for this year, I'm pretty sure that he's set himself up for success to get paid next year. I think that he's a really solid guard, and I'm pretty sure that after his failures in the playoffs last year, or at least like his lackluster performance, that he's going to have a chip on his shoulder and he's going to go out there and really show what he's made of. So I expect Dennis Schroeder to perform way better than he did in the playoffs last year. He'll probably perform the same way that he did during the regular season, but I don't think we're going to see playoff Schroeder or whatever. Jaylen Brown was an all-star for the Celtics last year, and I'm pretty sure that his level of production last year is not a fluke at all. I'm pretty sure that he's going to perform the same way that he did last year as he will this year, and I really would have loved to see him in the playoffs last year, but of course he had to get hurt at the end of the season because Kemba Walker was not a good number 2 option for Jayson Tatum. Let's be honest. Jayson Tatum, without a doubt, is the best player on this team. I don't know why I have to say this, but some people were saying Jaylen Brown might have been the best player on the team last year. You're wrong. I'm sorry. Jayson Tatum is still the best player on this damn team. He's a top 3 small forward, if anything. I really do love watching Jayson Tatum play. I'm a Lakers fan at heart, but I can't even lie. When people were comparing Jayson Tatum to Kyle Kuzma, I was legitimately on the side of, why would you pick Kyle Kuzma over Jayson Tatum? I just love the way the dude plays. He's such an offensive monster. The man had a 50-point game in the playoffs. So if that doesn't speak to how great he is, I don't know what does. So I'm really expecting Mr. Taco J to just perform like he has been the last few years. He's pretty much the Celtics all-star, superstar, if you want to call him that. I don't know if he's there yet, but I mean, he is amazing. And I just love that sidestep that he has. I don't know what it is about it, but like, I know we see it all the time, but I just love it for some reason. If Al Horford does get a starting spot this year, I'm pretty sure that he'll probably play the 4. I know that apparently there were like a bunch of articles saying that Ime Udoka was really impressed with what he saw from Al Horford, so he's considering him like strongly for a starting role. Although, if I'm being honest, I would love to see Al Horford play the 5 instead of the 4, just because when he played the 4 in Philly, he just did not look great at all. And besides, when Al was in Boston, he was playing the 5 mostly anyways. Robert Williams got paid this past offseason, and last year he really did show why he deserved that contract. While he might not be an amazing rebounder, he protects the rim pretty damn well. I think it's a well-deserved contract in my eyes, but I would prefer Al Horford running the 5 over him and probably seeing him maybe run the 4, just because he's not a great rebounder, but I don't really know what they're going to do. Overall, Time Lord is really good, despite the fact that, you know, he loses track of time. I think that he's a really solid piece for them, and I would love to see him in the starting spot of either the 4 or the 5. So either way, I would prefer him at the 4 just so Al Horford can play the 5, but we'll see what Ime Udoka decides to do. But like I said earlier, I don't really know if the starting lineup for the Celtics is really going to be like solidified. They might have Josh Richardson or Marcus Smart take starting roles. I don't really know, because I know that Marcus Smart did play a lot of starting minutes last year. Brown and Tatum might slide over to 3 and 4. They'll have Al Horford at the 5. Who knows? There's a lot they can do with these lineups with a lot of the players on this team. Peyton Pritchard is a pretty nice two-way player for the C's. He got a lot of playing time last year, and the guy did look pretty good when he did play. I expect him to develop into a pretty good backup scoring guard for the team and just go out there and pretty much ball. Marcus Smart is the vocal leader of this team. He's been an all defensive player like the last 2 years, so if that doesn't speak to how solid his defense is, I don't know what does. He's literally the guy who's going to hustle his ass off to keep the team in the game. Over the years, his shooting has gotten better. However, I just feel like the man takes a lot of shots that he really shouldn't. But I'm pretty sure Marcus is going to stay the guy that he was last year, or at least he's going to pretty much be the guy who he's always been for the Celtics, pretty much that glue guy, the vocal leader, kind of the heart and soul of this team, kind of like Draymond Green. He's a solid player, and I really like his game, despite the fact that a lot of people really don't like him. Josh Richardson, I don't think was a great fit on the Mavs, but I think him being on the Celtics might actually, help him out a lot more. He's going to play good defense on this team. I don't expect Miami or Dallas Josh Richardson to play, or even Philadelphia Josh Richardson for a matter. But I do think that he can, to an extent, help stretch the floor. He's not a reliable three-point shooter, but I mean, he can shoot it, and he does score, and he just kind of does have like a pretty well-rounded game. It's just that, like, sometimes his consistency isn't always there. Grant Williams is a shooter and defender. If anything, I see him more as like a PJ Tucker type player. He's pretty well built like PJ, and I think that he's going to progress this year like he has the last few years and just, play solidly for the C's. Enes Kanter is going to do Enes Kanter things, meaning that he's going to rebound offensively and not do shit on defense. Like I said before, this team actually has a lot of options in terms of the starting lineup. I feel like just in general, their rotation has a lot of potential. I didn't even go over guys like Juancho Hernan-Gomez, Ryan Arcidiacono, Romeo Langford, Aaron Naismith, and Jabari Parker, who they all have on the team. So yeah, they really do have a lot of guys who can probably crack the rotation or get rotational minutes depending on how they feel. I have a feeling that this team is going to be way better than they were last year, because last year I think they were like, what, the 7th seed? Or something like that. I'm predicting them to be a top 4 or 5 seed this year. I know that Brad Stevens didn't hire Ime Udoka if he didn't think that he was going to be confident enough to lead this team. Came off the Olympics. He just came off being an assistant coach for the Olympics, so I'm pretty sure that he's going to be able to solidly teach this team, or at least, like, I know that Brad Stevens wouldn't have picked him if he wasn't confident in him at all. I'm a really big fan of Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and I hope that they excel even more than they did last season and this season. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Obviously, there's a lot with the Celtics team that could change. I don't really know. They have a lot of depth. They have an amazing star in Jayson Tatum. They have Jaylen Brown. They have Dennis Schroeder, Schroeder, whatever his name is, however the heck you want to pronounce his name. They have him for a really cheap deal. I just think that this team is going to do well. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please rate, comment, and subscribe for more content. My name is Saiko. I will see you guys tomorrow for my 30 teams in 30 days on the Memphis Grizzlies, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye, guys.